just got dumped in my lap. I asked to if I'd come by, if I'd maybe talk a little bit, and I don't mind talking. And, and then then all of a sudden I was the host of it, and I'm so grateful. I mean, I'm so grateful in Dennis's honor that what these guys have put together, and the way the way the set list has been broken up. I think it's going to be some really exceptional music. He asked me to kill a few minutes and tell a story, and I was over there trying to think about what would be an interesting one. How he started Brother Studio, because so many of you people are musicians, and so many of you got, whoa, what did I do? Oh, I didn't break nothing. Wait a second. What? No, there's the thing here. Right? Is this here? Thank you. We lived at work. My ex-wife and I, my first wife, who a lot of people knew from Brother Studio. I mean, she was in Brother Studio from day one till the end of it. It wound up going back and running it for Black Flag, for SST Records, in a declining period for everybody, and another story, another night. But how the studio came about, Tricia and I had come out here one time in the very late 60s. Dennis misrepresented that he still had this house on Sunset and his dune buggy, and got out here and somebody else had the dune buggy, and Dennis was homeless and stuff. So we came back another time. I brought a group out from Brooklyn that recorded at Brian's house. They didn't have the money to put behind it, to do anything with it, because of having lost the money with the flame. Went back to New York again, put together some more cash and stuff. We started this together, Tricia and I, when we were 17-year-old kids in Brooklyn. All right, I guess I will sidetrack. Somebody said about how I met Dennis. I had come out to San Francisco. I got thrown out of Catholic high school, and I had a friend that was a year older than I was. I was born in 1951, the very beginning, 1951, and by 1966, I was spending nights crashing in Chinese models' apartments and stuff on Mott Street, when you could get an apartment, a loft on Mott Street for $65. I mean, I had a very interesting growing up time. When I got thrown out of high school, I had a friend, one of my closest friends was a year older than I was, and he was going to go to school in Gilroy. And I found out that Gilroy had a program, and I was dying to get to San Francisco. You gonna live? Because I don't want to get sidetracked, so I don't want to stop this music from going on. I came out here, I had met Tricia a few days before we were leaving for San Francisco, but we already had this car and stuff, and I wasn't going to miss out on experience. I was a year late. We didn't hit San Francisco until '68, but I knew I made a mistake leaving her behind, and I came back. We were married within like 2 months of when I came back. When I got back, the first date we actually went on, because she had come by my apartment that I had with a bunch of guys, and our dating wasn't too normal in the very beginning. But when we got back, I looked in the Village Voice and I saw the Beach Boys were playing at the Fillmore East. And they were so unpopular then. Wake the World was their opening number that night in the white suits and stuff. They were so fucking incredible. But they were very unpopular, and I love their unpopularness. I still haven't seen any Harry Potters, and I just don't like popular stuff. Liked him, oh, he's gone. But yeah, Dennis wasn't. So he was immensely popular and not so popular. What's the matter? Right there. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Have I been? You want me to start over?
No. Yeah. Continue. Yeah.
So Tricia said to me, no, as a matter of fact, she said, I did always like the Beach Boys. She said, I'd love to go. But she said, my father is so strict. She said, we'd have to go to the first set. And now, ironically, I had already been friends with the drummer from the Mothers of Invention. And I knew the Fillmore, and I knew that people used the first set as like a rehearsal. And I giggled over it, and I said, and I knew she was probably gonna get beat by her father for some reason anyway, but I said, I'll go to the first show, sure, why not? The show was so phenomenal. We came out, and I had extraordinary luck with vehicles and stuff, and I was parked right on the side of the Fillmore. We get in the car and we drive up, and the whole crowd is coming across the street, and in the middle of the whole crowd is Dennis with this fucking black, turned out it was 100% cashmere, that's, and he had a girl underneath his arm, underneath the coat, because it was kind of raining, can of Rheingold in his hand, and nobody was noticing it at all. He's just shuffling along with the crowd. And I said to Tricia, son of a bitch, I said, that's Dennis. And I honked the horn, and I said, hey man, I said, that was a great show. And he said, fuck that, can you give me a ride to my hotel? And we hit it off like gangbusters. That started, she said, the hell with my curfew and everything. We went back to the second show. The next day, I came down in the afternoon, and my father said to me, boy, he said, I see you were out having regular 17-year-old fun, right? He said, said there's these empty Rheingold cans in the back, and he said there's belt, and I said, God, you're not gonna believe this story. And I said, we went to this guy from the Beach Boys Hotel. I don't think I said to him at that point that we smoked some pot, but I said, and I said the guy was going on and on that he had just bought this coat for $500. And I said, what a shame, he's just lost it now. And who was it? Terry, you made me go off in this story, right? About how it continued from that point.
Not really, yeah.
So my mom had been a Frank Sinatra groupie and stuff. She said to me, I said, how could I ever return this to him? And she said, you went to his hotel room. She said, call and ask for him. And I said, they're not gonna connect me to a Beach Boy. Son of a gun, if he doesn't answer the phone, like he hated my guts, and said, who has this? And I said, it's Eddie, the guy that gave you a ride last night. He said, why are you calling me? And I said, because you left your precious cashmere belt in my car. But I said, go back to sleep, it's okay. And he said, wait a minute. He said, you're going to that trouble to return it to me? He said, we're doing the Ed Sullivan Show tomorrow. And it was that legendary footage of them when they did Good Vibrations and, and Do It Again, I guess it was. Yeah, but they filmed that thing in the afternoon. For Ed Sullivan to do something like that with that slow motion running through a tunnel. And so we went down to the Sullivan Theater, and they had my name at the door, and we went in, and that blossomed this whole friendship. That's a good enough point. I won't bother telling the studio story, but that was how we met. That was how this all got started. That was 1968, November 1968. I couldn't believe, Johnny, when I read Walter's book. I saw that first show that they did in New York, that I didn't remember the Kinks had opened for them, but it was unbelievable in Walter's book when he tells that story about first seeing them, because you were there with him too, right? Yeah, gosh. Johnny Zampetti, man, great with the Malibus. So, all right, without further ado, thank you so much, Danny. I really appreciate it.